There was an argument made at the Nuremberg trials for the Nazi war criminals that now applies to Gaza and Hamas. You need to see this video.
Yeah.
I've got an interesting legal argument to show you. Arguments are made daily around the world that somehow Hamas's invasion of Israel is justified, and it's balanced because Israel has attacked Gaza in response. I want to show you a speech from a guy that analyzed the Nuremberg war trials after World War II, where they put the Nazi war criminals on trial. And he talks about this exact concept. Fascinating, very short video. Hillel Neuer is the one that's speaking.
UN officials have repeatedly said, yes, 1,400 people were massacred by Hamas, but now thousands of Palestinians are killed. And that argument was made before. It was made actually in the Nuremberg trials, when the Einsatzgruppen, the Nazi death squads that moved around in Europe and killed 1 million Jews and 1 million others, when they were brought to justice at Nuremberg, one of the arguments was the Dresden defense. Say, yes, we may have done these killings, but you, the Allies, you killed civilians when you bombed Dresden and other cities. And that was wholly rejected by the Nuremberg court. The notion that this Nazi defendant was trying to make, that the deliberate and purposeful killing of civilians was equal to the taking of civilian lives that is undesired, unintended, and unavoidable, was absolutely rejected. Those are completely two different things. The essence of civilization is to distinguish between those two. And sadly, at the United Nations, we are seeing this scandalous Dresden defense being brought up again and again to equate the purposeful, deliberate killing of civilians, which is a crime, to equate it with the taking of civilian lives that is undesired, unintended, but unavoidable. That should be rejected completely.
He's right. And they're making that argument all over the world, as if somehow self-defense is not a right. Or
I see it.
You killed our people, so we can kill as many as we want, even though your people killed our people unintentionally, and we're slaughtering your people on purpose. It wasn't bought at Nuremberg. They executed all of those Nazi criminals the same way as Israel ought to do the same with the Hamas criminals.
Yep. And you know what, Barry? They show these criminals that are in the Gaza Strip because the Israeli soldiers will strip them down to their underwear. Sometimes even not their underwear, but they strip them down to underwear and have them in the streets. And then you have all of these people on there saying Hamas should be able to operate. Hamas are the good guys. Hamas are the ones that should be able to go in and take out the Israeli people. And they're actually supporting it and advocating for it. And then they turn around and show these Hamas soldiers in the streets because Israeli soldiers not killing them, Barry. They're stripping them down, and then they go, oh, look, everybody. The Israeli soldiers are stripping down innocent civilians. It's the biggest propaganda ever by these leftist people. And it is a leftist organization doing it.
The reason why they're being stripped down is in the beginning when they were taking them captive after they were surrendering. There were some that attempted to blow themselves up to be shaheeds, martyrs, right? So the Israeli soldiers don't want to be killed. So they make them take off their pants and their shirts so there's not a suicide vest unless it's in their underwear, I suppose. Anyway, long story short, they're doing the right thing. And I don't mind these murderers being humiliated. I'll tell you, it strikes me as interesting that all the Hamas fighters have that green ribbon around their forehead. Mm-hmm. And it says in Arabic, to the death. They're supposed to fight until the death. They're breaking their charter. I guess they didn't want the virgins quite yet, if you know what I mean. Unbelievable, but it's true.